Hello everyone. Today I thought of sharing with you like an emotional tool that I have used in my life, which really helped me to release these negative emotions that we constantly resist and fight with. And this is very much moving towards spiritual technique. And I found this is very powerful. So I thought of why not share this with my YouTube channel. And this I personally have used it and got results from. And all the techniques, if I ever teach anything in this channel, everything that I have used and got results from. So, okay, let's look at this technique. So, let's say you are like feeling kind of emotional turmoil or emotional turmoil situation in your life. What can we do about it? First thing is that recognize that you have some kind of emotional weather, like which you'll start feeling. And then just become aware that you are feeling emotional turmoil right now. I could say that would be the first step. Just recognize that you are going through some emotional turmoil right now. And then the second thing is identify the exact thought and the emotion that you are experiencing. Like, for example, let's say, like someone just like commented you in a very rude way or something like that. So the thought will be like, this person doesn't like me. Simple. And then the second thing is like, let's say, focus on what is your emotion, what you are experiencing, what do you feel right now. You might feel hurt because you experience that someone doesn't like you. That is the thought. So you might feel hurt inside you. And that is the second step, that you start identifying what is the thought and what is the emotion behind this emotional turmoil. Sometimes when you're doing that, itself start releasing emotions. You might start crying right away. That's a good thing. Let yourself cry. Do not repress your cry or any emotion in that matter. And then the third thing is like recognize this thought or the emotion is not me. Just tell yourself, yes, I experience this thought and I feel this emotion, but this is not who I am. This is the emotional weather pattern that I'm currently in. Third step would be that you tell yourself this thought or this emotion is not who I am. This is the current weather pattern that I'm experiencing. Really support them. So now start noticing that how this emotional weather pattern arising in the conscious awareness. I can also take an example, like let's take an example. It's like just notice that let's take this open sky, some gloomy clouds are just coming into this open sky, but then these clouds are not open sky. These gloomy cloudy and stormy clouds are rising within this open sky. Just like that. Just notice that how this emotional weather pattern is arising in your conscious awareness. Next step would be that you let go of focusing on the thought and the emotion, which is to say this emotional weather pattern, and just start focusing and noticing this spacious awareness which is arising around this thought and emotion. Just get a feel of this whole spacious conscious awareness and all these emotions and the thoughts arising with this conscious awareness. So get the feel of experiencing this spacious awareness around this emotional pattern. Also start noticing that how this thought or the emotion is like if you take this conscious awareness is not caught up with this thought and the emotion. And at the same time, it is not separate from this thought and the emotion. And it is this vast conscious awareness. It is not caught up with it, but at the same time, it is not separate from this conscious awareness. So all these emotions and thoughts are rising in the conscious awareness as it is not caught up with it, but at the same time not separate with it. Just feel into it, that vast conscious spaciousness that you experience. And then the next step would be from this conscious awareness, tell that this is not who I am, but I warmly welcome you into this space of who I am. And now start embracing whatever you have resisted and just experience that in your body, that embracing this emotion and the thought without any resistance. Completely allow yourself to feel this embrace of feeling and thoughts without any resistance. And then the last step would be let yourself to experience this safe and quiet quality of conscious awareness that you are experiencing, and let yourself to fully embrace this feeling in your body. And I found this technique to be very, very powerful and very releasing, and all whatever you're experiencing, you might start feeling emotions. Like, let's say that sometimes one of those steps you might already experience, you start crying, you burst into tears, because it just goes into the root of things, and it really helps to let go and just become this part, like conscious awareness around these thoughts and the emotions that we experience. And at the same time, sometimes like you might experience some recurring thoughts happening within. Whenever you are focusing on your mind, you will start noticing that there'll be some recurring thoughts happening. If that's the case, I would highly recommend you to just start observing what are the beliefs behind these thought patterns, and then start dismantling this belief and start questioning this belief, so that this whole thought pattern will completely collapse, because sometimes, like, behind all these thought patterns is there's a one big uh, belief that is all covered in all these patterns. So sometimes it's important that we go and just work on our beliefs in order to release all these thought patterns, and that really helps. And I remember I have done a lot of belief work in my spiritual journey, and that really felt like so much liberation, because those thought patterns really made a huge like emotional turmoil within myself. And more I questioned, the more I felt liberated in my journey. So sometimes you might need to, like, even go back and start questioning all these beliefs that is governing all these thoughts. I believe this helped you. And so to summarize this, the most important thing is just, like, recognizing the thought and the emotion, and recognize at the same time none of these thought or the emotion is not who I am, but I am this vast spaciousness and this conscious awareness around this weather, this emotional weather pattern. And, like, I'm not this emotional weather pattern, I'm just the vast consciousness behind that. And I'm not caught up with that, but at the same time, I'm not separate from this is the conscious awareness. And also welcoming this thought and the emotion in your space also helps you to let go of this resistance. Because if you see that there'll be underlying resistance, which really creates this turmoil and the suffering inside. So once we accept this, that releases. So, because if you see underline that you might hear that no, like a push away of these emotions, because that's our normal natural tendency, just like push away all these negative emotions, because we don't feel comfortable to experience them in our body. And mostly how we cope up with this is through some addiction and through some other distraction. So in this technique, like, if you have noticed that we are just welcoming these emotions and the thought into this conscious awareness, and to recognize that it's not who I am, and to just, like, abide in this conscious awareness, which is very safe and quiet, just makes it feel so much liberating. So start working on this technique, and I found this is very, very liberating. Even I learned this from a book called Sacred Inquiry from Shanti, and that really helped me in my journey. So I thought I wanted to share this in my channel and work out of this technique and see how it goes for you. And I'm sure it will help you immensely, because this is like you're going into the root of the problem. And sometimes you might find that it's important that to go back and do work on the beliefs as well. But I find this helps very much. Thank you.